What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that so maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Dearly beloved, no, hey, what's up? So I guess I reckon we'll cover some news and stuff tonight. There was some dude last night, and he was saying something about how he expected yesterday was kind of quiet and this week was going to be kind of crazy. Yeah, we need to find that dude and we need to lynch him because I got 9 articles open and the first 3 is talking about new weaponry. Well, one of them's not claimed to be weaponry, but it's going to be. Yeah, exactly. That's number 1. The Hypersonic Super Smart Slurpee. Yeah, it's the never-ending Slurpee. It's like an all-you-can-eat Slurpee in your hand. So, wait, no, that's not what it is. So apparently, what China had developed is actually essentially a system. It's a better version of a system that we designed. I forget what year it was. 2012. So, deadline passed in 2017 for it. 2021, U.S. military had abandoned it. China did not. China built a better system that works. So, yeah, that's the thing with the United States systems. There's just one little catch with all of the different systems that we've tried. And it's the same little catch with every one, and that's we can't successfully do it. It's the damnedest thing. So we are not a part of the Hypersonic Missile Club of planet Earth, but countries that are included happen to be China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. So pretty soon the Houthis, Hamas, Cousin Vinny down on the corner. Gotta watch him. But, yikes. Absolutely insane. But that is not, believe me, that's impressive technology. Oh, no. Wait till you hear the second one. The first one's just a teaser. Unless nobody's interested in the newfangled directed energy weapons. That's kind of in the news. Nobody's interested in that. Alright. I just replaced the little pod in here after I rebuilt it. And I can do a pretty damn fine job of rebuilding them. And it's got worms, gummy sour worms. That's the flavor that it's got in it. And it's rather tasty, and it's kind of hard to put down. Because, I like sour gummy worms. And to be able to eat, or not eat, but taste. Hang on. Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was me for a second. Illinois authorities searching for suspect in shooting deaths of 8 people over 2 days in suburban Chicago. That wasn't me. Steve, was that you? Oh, and so everybody knows, hot out of AP, it has been a lonesome road for Benito the giraffe. Now he's on a multi-day journey to find warmth and maybe a mate in central Mexico. So why don't we all rent an RV and go meet up with Benito. Blue. Sheesh. Gonna have to toss a roll of toilet paper at the dog. Uh-oh. I didn't say that. There is no record of me threatening the dog. Getting glared out at by said dog. Alright. So, over here trying to push buttons. Chinese naval scientists claim to have created a so-called smart shell, unlike the United States dumb shell, that is capable of delivering a precision strike to a target at hypersonic speeds, the South Korea Morning Post reported. The shell, which Beijing says can travel at Mach 7 speed or 7 times the speed of sound, is capable of changing its flight plan with the use of satellite navigation systems, the outlet said on Monday. Now, this article gets more and more interesting as it goes. Trust me on that. The state-of-the-art weapons delivery system can also deliver a warhead to a target with a margin of error of less than 15 meters, it added. Its precision strike capabilities make it insufficient to attack smaller mobile objects like tanks, but it would theoretically be ideal for larger static targets such as warships or ports, because ships don't move. The development of the military technology, the SCMP said, builds on the U.S. Navy's proposed development of the Dream Shell, a similar weapons system that was theoretically intended to navigate at a speed of Mach 5 and be guided by GPS satellite signals. The U.S. military first proposed the concept in 2012, indicating its intention to test fire the Dream Shell within 5 years, the SCMP said. But that deadline passed in 2017. By 2021, the U.S. military had abandoned research and development of the weapons system, the report adds. Yeah, hell with it, right? What do we need hypersonic weapons for? What, Steve? I'm let's see. I forgot where I was. Here I am. The Chinese team who developed the Mach 7 shell also said that while the U.S. began its development of the technology first, they themselves had received no support from Western scientists. We had no guidance, not even a cursory introduction to guided missile navigation systems, especially the satellite navigation component, Feng Junhing of China's Naval University of Engineering wrote in an engineering journal in November. The shell technology is expected to be widely used in battlefield scenarios, given that it is relatively cost-effective to produce but maintains the long-range precision striking capabilities more often associated with missiles. Let's see, during the launch, though, the shells generate a significant, check this out, during the launch. Oh, you're talking about your hypersonic Slurpee. During the launch, though, the shells generate a significant electromagnetic field, which can subsequently damage electronic components such as microchips or antenna, potentially destroying its own satellite navigation system. The Chinese scientists say they bypassed this problem by developing an antenna that can withstand electromagnetic signals while also maintaining precise satellite navigation. Beijing's Navy has recently said that it has made a series of breakthroughs in its weapons development, particularly, and we might want to pay attention to the last little sentence here, in the field of electromagnetic weapons, the SCMP said, adding that war game simulations of new military hardware challenges the traditional advantages held by Western nations. So they are literally saying that they have been building upon their electromagnetic weapons and running simulations. So might want to be a data point to put in the back of your head. A little bit. But the second one, when I saw this headline, I'm like, okay, so just tell us you're doing it now. Dragonfire, successful test of Britain's new laser-directed energy weapon. The British conducted a successful test of the new laser-directed energy weapon system, codenamed Dragonfire, against aerial targets, a fact that was also commented on by the Secretary of Defense, Grant Shapps. Despite the fact that British Ministry of Defense has not published enough details, for obvious reasons, about both the test and the technical characteristics of this particular weapon system. However, what is known is that it can engage and intercept any target it has locked onto within its reach. The Dragonfire development program has been undertaken by the Science and Technology Laboratory of the British Ministry of Defence with the participation of companies MBDA, Leonardo and Q, with the aim of creating a highly effective weapon system with great accuracy and disproportionate operating costs. A weapon system for the modern field of operations. According to the British media, both the Army and the Royal Navy are considering the procurement of Dragonfire to upgrade their air defense capabilities and assets in the current and future field of operations. This is due to the fact that Dragonfire can accurately hit enemy targets with the cost of running it for 10 seconds is equivalent to the cost of running a radiator for an hour, as they say. Thus, it becomes clear that Dragonfire can prove to be a highly reliable solution against short and even medium-range aerial targets with very high accuracy while reducing the possibility of collateral losses and with low operation, maintenance, and support costs, especially in a field of operations where enemy UAV raids are carried out, like the Red Sea, and the use of precisely anti-aircraft missiles costs twice. So, got pictures and some kind of video here. Ooh. Oh, it's actually like a... Hang on here. Oh, you're speaking, dude?
That we've been building in order to prove the technology around laser weapons to show that they're genuinely practicable technology for delivering weapon systems. Laser weapons are something that are brand new. We don't know what their benefits are going to be, technically whether it's actually going to be achievable to use them. But the sense is that this has the potential to be something that could be absolutely game-changing. Our current weapon systems are large, expensive, heavy, and the logistics chain required to move them around is extraordinary. Something which we can just fire using a laser weapon and have on our platforms is potentially going to be much cheaper and achieve the same effects at a much lower cost.
Working collaboratively with DSTL as an industry representative, it's been a really good experience. In some ways, you forget that actually it's a partnership between industry and MOD and DSTL, and we actually work together as one team, very, very closely delivering the capability.
The biggest challenges really are around the fact that we're trying to build a system with bits of technology which are absolutely world leading, and we're trying to combine them all into a single system. So we don't just have the challenges of trying to do one piece of groundbreaking technology, we've got to do 3 or 4 all at the same time, and for them all to operate as well as each other at the same time in order to deliver an effect. The lasers are a really key technical aspect, but it's all about building systems that will protect our military, our soldiers and our sailors. The point that we've got to now, which is the demonstration, which is the culmination of 5 years worth of effort from hundreds of scientists and analysts and commercial staff and project managers in order to get to a position where we've proven that the technology is effective, is just fantastically exciting.
So I don't know if you recall, but Israel was supposedly testing some type of new laser system. That came out, but I really haven't heard anything more on it. So I find this bit of news interesting, and again, another data point to put in the back of your mind. Iran launched a new quote-unquote research satellite into orbit 750 kilometers above the Earth. Says Iran has successfully launched a new research satellite, official media reported, a new stage in the development of the country's aerospace activities despite Western sanctions. The Surya satellite, owned by the Iranian Space Agency, purely research, was successfully launched today by the GAM 100 rocket of the Revolutionary Guard, state television said. Placed in orbit 750 kilometers above Earth, it is the first time Iran has sent a satellite above 500 kilometers. According to Iran's official IRNA news agency, Telecommunications Minister Isa Zerpour said Surya is a research satellite weighing about 50 kilograms. Iran has been developing its aerospace activities for years and maintains that they are peaceful and in line with the UN Security Council resolution. But Western governments fear that its satellite launch systems incorporate technologies that can be interchanged with those used in ballistic missiles capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. The GAM 100 missile was developed by the Revolutionary Guards, the Islamic Republic's ideological army, which announced in September that it had launched the Naur 3 imaging satellite 450 kilometers above Earth. The Islamic Republic of Iran has been subject to tough U.S. sanctions since Washington pulled out in 2018 from an international deal aimed at curtailing Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for the lifting of international sanctions. So, give you a little peek at what's going on with Iran. And of course, we can't talk about Iran and not talk about Iraq. Usually, though, you get racked and then you run. But, fierce ballistic attacks on military base housing U.S. forces, reports of injuries. Says following the Iraqi Prime Minister's call for the withdrawal of U.S. military forces and their allies as part of the international coalition against ISIS, the Al-Assad military base was attacked with more than 10 missiles. At least 10 rockets were fired in western Iraq today at a military base hosting U.S. soldiers and troops of the international coalition fighting jihadists, Iraqi police officers and a U.S. military official told AFP. Ballistic missiles hit the Ain al-Assad air base in Al-Anbar province, and U.S. military officials said on condition of anonymity. He said that an initial assessment of the damage is underway, but the first information is that a member of the Iraqi security forces has been seriously injured. So that's it on that. Ouch. Next up, it's not really a serious operation unless it's got a name, Alright? Just saying. United States names Yemen operation, says CNN. Oh, lovely. The Pentagon has dubbed its campaign of air and missile strikes against the Houthis of Yemen Operation, I don't know if it's Poseidon or Poseidon Archer. Let's see. CNN reported on Monday, citing two unnamed officials. The name has been applied retroactively to the January 11 attacks carried out by the U.S. and UK, as well as 7 more rounds of strikes since, the officials said. They also said that Poseidon Archer is being treated as entirely separate from Prosperity Guardian, an operation announced in December that officially involves personnel and ships from 20 countries. Let's see. The U.S. launched Prosperity Guardian to secure the passage of merchant ships through the Red Sea in the Bab el-Mandeb after the Houthis said they would interdict any Israeli-linked ships in solidarity with the Palestinians in Gaza. After the January 11 attacks, the Yemeni group said that British and American vessels would be fair game as well. The naming suggests a more organized, formal, and potentially long-term approach by the Pentagon to the situation in the Red Sea, according to CNN. The naming suggests a more organized, formal, and potentially long-term approach by the Pentagon to the situation in the Red Sea, according to CNN. U.S. military has long used names intended to influence international and domestic perceptions about its operations. The practice of using heroes and antiquity and figures from Greek and Roman mythology was introduced by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill in World War II. Poseidon is the Greek god of the sea, known in the Roman pantheon as Neptune. U.S. President Joe Biden admitted last week that the Anglo-American strikes failed to deter the Houthis, but said they would continue anyway. When you say working, are they stopping the Houthis? No. Are they going to continue? Yes, he told reporters outside the White House. The U.S. is clear-eyed about who the Houthis are and doesn't expect them to stop their attacks immediately. Trying to turn the volume down. I don't know why somebody's trying to call me on Facebook. Let's see. See where I'm at. Sorry. But hopes to degrade and destroy their capabilities, the Washington Post reported on Saturday, citing anonymous U.S. officials. Rather than invading Yemen, the U.S. wants to hit infrastructure that enables the Yemeni group to fire missiles and drones at merchant vessels, one unnamed diplomat explained. The Houthis have said they would continue targeting ships until Israel stops its offensive and lifts the blockade of Gaza. West Jerusalem has vowed to eradicate Hamas after the Palestinian group's October 7 raid that claimed the lives of estimated 1,200 Israelis. The attacks have impacted the global shipping industry more than the COVID-19 pandemic, according to maritime advisor firm Sea Intelligence. Roughly 15% of the world's sea trade uses the Red Sea and the Suez Canal to deliver goods from Asia to Europe and vice versa. Facing skyrocketing insurance premiums, major Western carriers such as Maersk, MSC, CMA, CGM, and Hapag-Lloyd have chosen to reroute their vessels around Africa at the cost of time and fuel. So, that is crazy. What the heck is he even talking about? Hang on. Oh. Now I understand. I will have to get back with him later. Alright. Okay. I have a sip of tea here. Got 4 more articles open. That's why I'm kind of trying to mosey through them. Have some vape here. Alright. U.S. and U.K. announced new strikes on Houthis. American bombers struck Houthi installations in Yemen again on Monday, U.S. Central Command has said. It is the second time British bombers have taken part in the operation, now dubbed Poseidon or Poseidon, whatever the hell, Archer. Royal Air Force jets based in Cyprus have been involved in the January 11 attack, while the U.S. used cruise missiles and cruise missiles and aircraft from the carrier USS Eisenhower. Since then, the U.S. has carried out 6 more strikes on its own, reportedly targeting Houthi missiles as they prepared to launch. U.S. and U.K. forces conducted strikes on 8 Houthi targets in Yemen just before midnight on Monday, CENTCOM said on X. The targets included missile systems and launchers, air defense systems, radars, and deeply buried weapons storage facilities. According to CENTCOM, the strikes were carried out alongside UK armed forces and with the support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands. Although the countries named have all pledged participation in the U.S.-led Operation Prosperity Guardian, aimed at ensuring the safety of international shipping, the U.S. military insisted that their strikes were separate and distinct from the multinational Freedom of Navigation operation. Earlier on Monday, CNN reported that the Pentagon has named the strike mission Operation Neptune Archer, now they said Neptune. Thank you. Suggesting a long-term U.S. commitment to bombing the Houthis. The Washington Post reported over the weekend that the U.S. objective was to degrade and destroy their capabilities, citing officials who wanted to remain anonymous. CENTCOM has accused the Houthis of reckless and unlawful attacks on the U.S. and U.K. ships, as well as international commercial shipping in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb Strait, and the Gulf of Aden. The attack comes after the call between U.S. President Joe Biden and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, in which they discussed the situation in Yemen. The Houthis announced in late October that they would strike all Israeli-linked shipping in the Red Sea until the blockade of Gaza is lifted, and have since targeted several merchant vessels. After the January 11 strikes, they expanded the target to list British and American ships as well. Houthi attacks have impacted the global shipping industry more than the COVID-19 pandemic, the maritime advisory firm Sea Intelligence said last week. Roughly 15% of the world's sea trade passes through this region. Facing the rising insurance premiums, major Western carriers such as Maersk, MSC, I read you that in the other articles, so. Fun time. Tea. I definitely had a rougher time getting to bed last night, so I'm like, I've got to cut that nighttime coffee out. Because it was certainly helping. Fun times, fun times. Okay. No to a Palestinian state, Netanyahu now says. Israel and the U.S. disagree on a two-state solution in the Middle East, and I've been saying that's the way it was going to go down the entire time. So, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Says U.S. government, a key ally of Israel and a key supporter of its military operations against Hamas, has recently repeatedly called the Israeli military to take steps to reduce civilian casualties and reiterated its support for the establishment of a Palestinian state, an issue on which he is deeply at odds with Benjamin Netanyahu's government. Israel must maintain security control over the entire area west of the Jordan River. This is a necessary condition for any solution, even though it totally contradicts the idea of Palestinian national sovereignty, Mr. Netanyahu said yesterday. The position sparked an outcry from the Palestinians and also highlighted the disagreement between Washington on this issue, which is at the heart of the war and post-war scenarios for the Gaza Strip. Yesterday, a day after his controversial statements, Mr. Netanyahu had a telephone conversation with American President Joe Biden, among other things, about the future, about the two-state solution, Israeli and Palestinian. The U.S. president still always believes in the prospect and the possibility of a two-state solution, although he recognizes that it will take a lot of work to get there, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said afterward. From yesterday's conference, the previous conversation of Mr. Biden Netanyahu was on December 23rd. So, my neck. All right. An impressive hit by the Ukrainians. They hit the Russian gas terminal in the Baltic. Says here, Russian company Novatek has announced that work at a gas terminal it operates in the Baltic Sea has been suspended after a fire there was the result of what it said was an external influence, with some Russian telegram channels talking of a drone attack. A fire broke out at a terminal owned by Novatek, Russia's biggest liquefied natural gas producer, regional officials said, amid reports of explosions and the presence of a Ukrainian drone in the area. According to preliminary information, the fire was the result of an external impact, the company said in a statement, without giving further details, but some footage of an alleged drone attack was released. The technological process at Novatek Ust-Luga has been stopped, and an operational headquarters has been established in order to minimize the consequences. Damages will be assessed later, the company said. The complex at Ust-Luga, located in the Gulf of Finland, about 170 kilometers west of St. Petersburg, converts stable gas condensate to light and heavy naphtha, jet fuel, and ship fuel components, according to Novatek's website. I'll get it, maybe. The port is used to transport processed products to international markets. So, and it went boom. So, telling you, energy is going to be something that is going to wind up costing a fortune, I have a feeling. Was it in the one in the email, Steve? Let's see. Great concern in Latvia. Let's stop the Russians now. They won't stop in Ukraine. I thought that was kind of scary language. Real quick little article here. Says the need for the West to stop the Russians now because it will become more costly later, Latvian Foreign Minister Krišjānis Kariņš pointed out. He's a Karen. We need to open our eyes and realize that Russia will not stop its war in Ukraine. Okay, why not? The only way to stop Russia is to stop it, asserted the Latvian foreign minister. You go right ahead. Ukrainians are willing to fight. Ukrainians are almost dead. Ukrainians need our Western undivided support, the support of the European Union. Go right ahead. So we need to decide and secure funding for Ukraine for years to come so they can continue to maintain their government. Be my guest. And we must also ensure that we provide the weapons and ammunition they need to continue their mission. I hope you're going to send your sons and daughters because they're about out of them. For anyone who thinks that it's expensive to support Ukraine, that this money could be better spent elsewhere, let me just say that the support will become more expensive in the future. If we don't help Ukraine stop Russia now, it will be much more expensive for us later because Russia will not stop Karen's stress. Just being a Karen. That's all he's doing is being a Karen. Comes natural to him. Fun times, he said. Right on. Ow. My back and my neck is tearing me up. But we're... Oh, okay. Yeah. Headed for a warm-up, but we're actually going to have a couple of days above 50. So, wahoo. I think starting with tomorrow. Pretty sure tomorrow was going to be like 51 or something. And like 55 the next day, something like that. I lied. I way lied. Wednesday is going to be 51. Thursday is going to be 53. So, tomorrow is going to be 43. That works. So, and then everything to the mid to upper 40s after the 50-degree days. So, I can handle that. 10 cents a month. I hear you there. Hear you there. Oh, man. Alright. I've got some headline. Now I can run for the door. I am tired. Alright, Russia must give up its nuclear weapons, says Ukrainian officials. Well, good luck with that. May I suggest you go with a big stick when you ask? I mean, you can try, but... let's see. Shoemaker endorsed by Roger Federer under fire over markups and labor practices. Post-Soviet country loses almost entire national art collection to a fire. EU eyeing new plan to bypass Hungary on Ukraine aid, says Wall Street Journal. Saudi Arabia reveals new conditions for normalizing Israel ties. Heinous act of terrorism, Kremlin condemns deadly Ukrainian attack on Donetsk. Russian oil supplies to China jumped 24% in 2023, says data. U.S. forming colonial administration in Ukraine, says Russian spy chief. EU rallying member states to threaten Israel, says Financial Times. A 15-year-old rapper arrested during St. Petersburg concert. Yeah, apparently there was a bunch of teens cussing. And so they got arrested for cussing. Let that be a thing to you young whippersnappers and your disrespect. Throw your ass in jail for saying ass. Oh, let's see. Yeah, 56,000 women into battle. I thought that was crazy. I'll share it out as news, but it ain't breaking. It ain't worthy of breaking. Okay. German defense contractor disputes missiles for Ukraine claim. Almost half of Russians positive on Lenin, says a poll. Nearly 5,000 Brits froze to death last year due to heating costs, says a study. Ukraine must give up territory, says PM of EU state. Relatives of the Israeli hostages storm parliament. 2 dead in Russian medevac plane crash. No contact with Trump, says the Kremlin, because they were pretty much responding to Trump talking about how he would put an end to it in 24 hours. And they're like, we don't know how he would. That's news to the Russians, so, as I figured. Poland joins G7 security pledge for Ukraine. Huawei moves to totally abandon Android. They're going to run their own operating system. Gay emojis must be banned, says Russian MP. But does that mean even the ones that just look stupid? Those kind of gay ones too? Or just the gay as in, hello, rainbow? Just let us know. Boeing stock sells off on new inspections. Russian court orders arrest of extravagant bodybuilding blogger. Because he was extravagant and looked fabulous. EU state could let foreigners serve in armed forces, says media. ECB staff sees Lagarde as bad leader, says poll. U.S. sees Ukraine as business project, says Lavrov. Bloody red line, Israel risks dragging another Arab country into war. They don't care. CENTCOM, 2 SEALs killed after raid on Iranian vessel. It's, I believe the prior one, unless there's a new one, then there's a lot of SEALs getting taken out. Let's see, Iraq fears, we covered that, and that, and that. Take that and that. Crushing of Ukrainian defenses in Kupyansk, Liman. The Russians' first TT army captured the settlements of Kotyavka, and Berestovo, and Krakomoyoy. Yeah, sure. Crack in my oi. There's a crack in my oi. Man, China developed we covered that. Germany could follow Brexit example, says opposition leader. Oh, man, get off my lawn. There you go, Steve. Get off my lawn. Oh, man. Let's see. Medvedev denounces Zelensky's territorial claims to Russia. Zelensky brands parts of Russia historically Ukrainian. EU state will give Ukraine a loan for weapons, says Zelensky. Zelensky went crazy. He threatens Trump to think before he speaks and warns that the Ukrainian army is the best. Right. Bring Leningrad back, says the communists. You settle down there, communists. Scientists make Alzheimer breakthrough. But they can't remember what it was. EU EU agrees on Yemen mission. Russia escalates. Here is a list of French soldiers who fought and died in Kharkiv. The French National Assembly demands explanation. Elon Musk visits Auschwitz. U.S. names Yemen operation. Impressive hit by the Ukrainians. Oh, I covered that. Russia to launch large-scale attack in summer 2024 in Ukraine. Will also move for Kiev. That's what Financial Times says, by the way. Covered that. Israel proposes new hostage deal to Hamas, says Axios. Washington demands probe into Palestinian teen's death. And voters hit by spoofed Biden robocall. So, watch out for those spoofed Biden robocalls. They'll get you donating for some goofball or something. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because the goofballs start calling at 9. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm going to go to bed. Anyway, I am out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.